we had some difficulty with the Watermaker, so I called Mike at SeawaterPro, and he gave me an idea of what to do, so I tried it, and check it out. This is my pre-filters and my charcoal filter. So what I had to do was I had to run this garden hose to give it some pressure to go through and open up the valve on the high pressure pump, which is over here. That bottom blue line, I'll show you this one right here. That one. That line right there, needs to be forced open if you have, I guess, an older model of the SeawaterPro. Maybe the new ones aren't like this, but I had to hook it up to the garden hose to push high pressure through to open up the valve, because I wasn't getting it with just the booster pump, which is right here. That's the booster pump, 12 volt booster pump. It wasn't giving it enough, didn't have enough pressure to put it into the high pressure pump. So now it's running, and check it out. It's actually fresh water coming directly out of the marina. I know I shouldn't do it in a marina, but check this out. I know you shouldn't drink water out of a marina, but check it out. I mean, that's salt-free right out of the marina. So hopefully nobody dumped their head here anytime recently. But anyway, we are up and running on our Watermaker. Now, as long as right now we're on shore power. So if it runs on our generator, we'll be good to go. Forward AC and sink drain is also intake for SeawaterPro Watermaker. So it runs up through here, underneath this floor. Underneath here, there's a T. I'm going to replace that T eventually with a better T. Alright, it comes up through here, way back in there. Through this strainer into the motor, the DC pump. The DC pump runs around here and goes up into this check valve. Then it goes through a 20 micron filter and then a 5 micron filter. Hopefully that's enough PSI. Then it comes back out through here, underneath the floor. Then from underneath the floor, it goes up to the motor. High pressure pump right there that comes out into the membrane. Uh-oh, better turn it down a little bit. You don't want to exceed 900 PSI. So let me check the TDS. Wow, that's really low. So I have the AC version, so I have to plug it into a generator. But then there's the water flow meter, around 20 gallons an hour. Then it comes over here to this mess. And I got this diverter here. So right now it's running from the water flow meter up into my fresh water system in this T here. And I have 3 tanks. So it goes from here. It can't go down this one, it can't go down this one, so it's going down this one, which is my aft tank, 50-gallon tank. And I have a 50-gallon tank and 2 47-gallon tanks. So right now I'm filling up my 50-gallon tank, which in theory would take 2.5 hours to fill. This is a 20-gallon an hour system. My advice is buy the 40-gallon an hour system. In hindsight, I wish I would have. I could fill them all up at the same time, which I've done, but it's harder to keep track of what's going on, and I've actually overfilled and my tank's bulged. So when I'm done, I can just turn it off right here. I can turn it off, or I can divert it. I can divert it to run into the sink, which is what I do when I first turn it on. When I first turn the system on, I divert it into the tank until the TDS is right and the water tastes good. No salt. Ideally, you would want some kind of a system that shows you how much water you put in. I do it visually, because that's the only way I can do it, because my gauges don't work. This gauge system down here, check it out. Here's my gauge system. If I turn it on, this switch right here, no matter what I put it on, it shows it's completely full if I turn it on. So I have one gauge for 3 tanks and a fuel gauge. So one is, oh, here it is. Port tank is 1, starboard tank is 2, aft tank is 3, and fuel tank is 4. So no matter where I put it, it always says full. And I know they work because they worked right before we left on this trip, but somebody said it's probably this switch, but I haven't had a chance to work on it. So it'd be much easier just to watch the gauge, and when it says full, switch it to the other tank. But what I have to do is go look at it visually. And the only way for me to tell if it's full is to, luckily, yeah, lucky for me, my tank leaks. So when water comes out of the top of that inspection port, or where the sending unit is, the plastic's not glued down very good. So once it starts coming out the top, I know that that back tank is full. The 2 front tanks are easier, I can see those. So that's our setup on Hana, but my advice would be to buy the control panel, because I'm going to do a control panel after the fact, and the second membrane. So my advice is to don't go cheap. Spend the extra $500 to $1,000. Get the 40-gallon-an-hour Watermaker and get the control panel. I think I'm going to take what gauges I have and build some kind of a panel right here in this corner, to where I can just control everything right there. Because now I gotta lift this up, I gotta pull this up, I have to look over there, I have to come over here. It's such a pain in the butt when you could have everything right there in one spot. Having unlimited water on a boat is very nice. I'm still amazed at every time I make water that we're turning salt water and seawater into fresh water that we can drink. So I want to show you one more thing actually before we go. Even though you go through multiple filters, I still have this system here, which is an Acuva UV filter. So if you notice, I turn on the switch and it turns blue, like right here. That is indicating that it's working, killing bacteria. So yeah, the water is filtered and we only have 85 parts per million of TDS, total dissolved solids, but you still need to get the bacteria out with some sort of UV filter. So that's what this is here. That's what we drink out of. I forgot to show you, that's our shower sump, which is where my the brine comes out right there. The salt water, the residue after the fresh water's made, that's the brine comes out the side of the boat. I'm going to change that too. I'd rather just have a through haul rather than going into the pump. There you can see right there is where the brine goes out. Now that's what goes out into the shower pump and out the side of the boat. So that's our fresh water system that we use to make fresh water. I gotta hang on because it's really windy and wavy here. We're in Georgetown, Bahamas, and you don't need a water maker, but man, it makes it so much more convenient, because if you didn't have a water maker, this is what you have to do. Check it out. You go way over there with jerry cans, 5 gallons at a time. Yeah, I'll pass on that. Here's what we do extra. When the water tanks are full, we save all of our milk jugs and water jugs, and we fill those up too. That way we have extra water we can use for just doing dishes or doing showers or whatever. So it actually will save you a lot of water in your tanks. So anyway, that's our water making operation. And if any questions, just comment below.